Hi, this is Christine. Welcome to Scrappin' Rabbit. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make these cute little combination gift card holder calendars. These would probably go well at craft fairs, and they're super quick and easy to make, so you can also make them as last-minute gifts. And I'm going to show you how to attach these little calendar pages, how to make the base and the little pull tags, and how to cut the pull-outs so that you can slide your gift card in there. So this is the first one that I made. I don't have the gift card in there. And this is the one that I'm making in this video. I've got all of the cutting sizes indicated from my website. I've got a link to that below, and also you can download the calendar at the same time. So let's get started. I printed my calendar and I'm going to trim it down to size. So each little month will be an individual page on my calendar. So I'm going to place this so that I'm about a 1/4 inch. I'm going to cut about a 1/4 inch above above the name of the month. And this can be approximate. So I'm just measuring so that this title is in line with my 1/4 inch mark. And then I'm going to trim the height so that they're all the same, and make sure that you pick the month with the most number of weeks so that you're not going to cut anything off. So for example, this one has 5 weeks, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, these are all the same. Here's a good example. So this one has the 5 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one goes down 6 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would use this one as a guide. I'm going to line up my sheets so that they're all lined up at the top, and then I can place this in my trimmer, and I'm going to trim so that I go below the month with the most weeks. And I guess I'll go about a 1/4 inch below that as well, like that. Then I'm going to set the width of my calendar. So I'm going to trim about a 1/4 inch away from the end, like that, and about a 1/4 inch in front. And then I can use this as a template after I've trimmed off my other pages here, a 1/4 inch away from the end, like that, and a 1/4 inch here. Then I can use this one as a template to cut the left edge. That way each of the pages will be about the same size. And then you can stack your pages in order. Next, I'm going to attach my calendar pages to a little piece of cardstock. So I'm going to use this one, And I'm going to position it so that I have about 1/8 of an inch all around. So I can trim this to size. I'm just going to eyeball that. Like that. And then I can staple my pages to this base. So I'm going to just make sure my pages are lined up. And then I'm just going to use my stapler and staple this once down the center. So this is ready to attach to my calendar base. I've pre-cut most of my pieces, and you can get the dimensions from my website. I'm linking to it in the description of this video below. So here's my first piece, my base. It measures 4 by 10, and I'm going to place this on the 10-inch side along my scoreboard, and I score at 2 inches, at 5 inches, at 8 inches, and then I have 2 inches left on the edge. So I fold along the score marks, and here's my base. So these 2 little narrow flaps at the end will overlap each other like that to form the base of the calendar. I'm going to put some 2-sided tape inside this flap here, because once the calendar is ready to be used, then the recipient would just remove the backing from the 2-sided tape and assemble the calendar like that. So I'm going to take some 2-sided tape and attach it underneath, but I'm not going to remove the tape backing. I'll just leave it like that, and that will attach like that. So now I'm going to mat my calendar. I'm going to use this paper, and I just need to mat this section and this section. I've already cut the width that I need, and now I'm going to trim the height. And they're both the same size. I can just use the first piece as a template. And I'm going to attach my matting to the base. I'm just going to put a little bit of tape in the corners. To put a little bit of glue on here. Now it's easier to position this if I fold my base. And then I do the same thing on the back. Now before I attach my calendar, I think what I'm going to do is finish the construction of the base, and then I can decide how I'm going to attach my little calendar and embellish the front. This is the pocket, and it measures 4.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So I place my pocket along the 4.5 inch side, along the top of my scoreboard, and I'm going to score the left edge at 1/2 inch. Then I rotate, and along the 3 3/4 inch side, again I'm going to score at 1/2 inch, and then at 3 1/4 inches. I take my scissors and I'm going to cut where the corners meet diagonally so that I can fold the flaps to my pocket. So I'm folding the flaps up like that, and then I'm going to cover them with two-sided tape. Okay, so this is going to slide inside my pocket like that. It's going to fit in there. So this is a front, and this is going to go behind the front like that. So I'm going to make sure that my end flap is on the left edge. That will prevent the card from sliding all the way through. So place this in position, and then so turn it over like that. So I'm going to attach it so that it's centered top to bottom. It's a little bit narrower than the front panel. That way these sections here can fold back. So I think I'm going to start by removing a little bit of the tape backing from the end of the pocket. Make sure it doesn't stick out the edge here. You want it flush along this edge. Then I can finish attaching the other sides. So here's my little pocket. Now I've cut my pull-out, and it measures 4 inches wide by 2.5 inches high, and that's just going to slide in like that. I'm going to add a little pull tab on this edge, but before that I'm going to cut the little slits so that my gift card can fit in. So this is the gift card that I'm going to use as a sample to include in my little calendar. I've cut a template that's the same size, and I think this is pretty much the standard size for gift cards. It's 3 3/8 inches wide by 2 1/8 inches high. And I've also cut my pull-out to the size that I want, and it's a little bit wider, a little bit higher than my template. So I'm going to start by deciding where I'm going to cut the slits so that I can slide my gift card in. Now when I do that, I don't want to cut the slits in too much because it's going to be hard to insert it. I'm going to have to bend the card down, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to have the slits at the very corners here. So I'm going to use a template for that. And all I need to do is just cut a little bit at the corners, maybe 1/4 of an inch off. And that'll be just enough to keep the card in place. Like that. So then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife, and I'm going to position this on here, and I'm going to center top to bottom, left to right. And I mean, you can mark these with a pencil if you like first, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut along these corners. Like that. And if you have a hard time getting the card in, you can always cut your slits a little bit longer. Like that, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And then I can just carefully insert my card like that. So this is ready to slide in my pocket, but I want to put a little pull tab on it. So I'm going to grab my other little piece of cardstock here, and I'm going to use this punch to make the pull tab. I can attach that like that. I'm going to ink around the edges. And I'll do the same thing to the card, the pull out. And there we go. And there's my pull-out. So I can finish embellishing my calendar I also need to attach my little calendar pages, and once I decide how I'm going to embellish it, I can position that on there. So I'm going to center my little calendar. Normally I would have used my glue gun, but I didn't think to plug it in. So for now I'll just use my tacky glue. And when I glue it, I'm going to make sure I don't glue over the page. That way I can still pull it out. Even though it overlaps a little bit, my glue doesn't extend over top the pages. So I'm going to let this dry. And in the meantime, I can embellish my card. Actually, I don't like the way that this looks. I think I'm going to remove here, and instead I'm going to place the tab on the back. Like that, and then I can embellish along the edge here. I've got these little stick-on crystals that I can use. Go like that. And I can also put some embellishments along here. Now what I did in this one is I put a little bit of a punched border along the top edge, and I can still do that. I've got a punched border, and I can just sort of measure that like that. So I want to cut it about here, and it's going to slide partly underneath my flower. I could have put it on before attaching my flower. That would have been the easiest. So I'll just put some two-sided tape under here. And I'm going to put a little bit of these beads, or these crystals, around the edges. Yeah, I could do that. And I think I need one more. It's tucked in here. So now I can present this as a gift with the little pull-out for the gift card, and then the calendar can be used, and I would just remove the two-sided tape and attach the two flaps like that to the bottom. So that's my little calendar gift card. So I hope you enjoyed making this, and it gives you ideas for your own items to make at craft fairs. Have a nice day and happy scrapping. Bye.